a kick as precise as it is powerful. His lightning-quick hooks and phenomenal acceleration caused havoc in opposing defenses for almost 15 years. Eusebio will always be remembered as one of the greatest strikers in the history of football. A true icon, the man who was declared a National Heritage Monument symbolizes one of the most successful periods in Lusitanian football. From his childhood to his revelation in Lisbon to his consecration in 1965 and his World Cup conquest a year later, we look back at the prodigious career of the Black Panther, a man driven by the rage to win and the passion for the green rectangle. Subscribe to Megafoot, the best of football and video. Eusebio da Silva Ferreira was born on January 25, 1942, in Lourenço Marques, capital of Mozambique, a former Portuguese colony. It was in 1957 that his story really began. While he was just a 15-year-old kid having fun with his friends in the Mafalala neighborhood in the Os Brasileiros club, Eusebio dreamed of joining the ranks of Benfica. However, his dream was not to be realized immediately, as after failing 2 attempts to join the Lisbon side, the club's directors turned to Sporting Club de Lourenço de Marques, a subsidiary of Sporting Portugal, the Aquia's longtime rival. He was underage and had nothing to say about this decision. His mother agreed that her son should go there. Although he did not want to play there, he overcame his considerations to show his qualities. Outclassed, sometimes even playing with seniors, his many goals caught the eye of his beloved Benfica this time. His mother reached an agreement with Benfica's directors to the displeasure of Sporting, who were mad at having their jewel stolen and tried to prevent Eusebio from signing for his beloved club. But it doesn't matter. The man nicknamed the Black Panther arrived in Portugal in December 1960 for 400,000 escudos. His first year was a revelation. Explosiveness, skill, agility, composure. Eusebio had all the makings of a phenomenon. He scored a hat-trick in his first match and literally exploded into life against the great Santos of Pelé, the reigning world champion at the Paris tournament. A substitute at kickoff, the Portuguese scored a hat-trick that overshadowed his team's 6-3 defeat. The Brazilian was also taken aback when he asked where the boy had come from after the match. The legend was born and the rest is history. Eusebio became an obvious starter for Benfica. What's more, his first full season ended on a high note. In the final of the UEFA Champions League against Ferenc Puskás and Alfredo Di Stefano's Real Madrid, he scored twice to give his club a second consecutive title. This love affair with the European scene lasted for almost a decade. Unfortunately for him, not with the same success. In 1963, Benfica reached the final of the Champions Cup again, but this time they lost to AC Milan, despite having a pawn. 2 years later, the trophy was once again lost to Inter Milan, and since no 2 games are ever the same, the scenario remained the same in 1968 against George Best's Manchester. Prevented from signing for a foreign club by the authoritarian regime of Antonio Salazar, Eusebio did, however, rack up domestic titles. He finally left Benfica in 1975 to sell his talent on the North American continent. There, he won the NASL Championship with Toronto Metros Croatia and the Mexican Championship with CF Monterrey. The myth of Eusebio is also built in parallel with the Portuguese national team. Before the beginning of their romance in October 1961, the Seleção were not considered a world-class team. That status changed somewhat after the 1966 World Cup, when the Pantera Negra took over. In the group stage, they were up against great teams such as Bulgaria, Hungary, and above all, Pelé's Brazil, the 2-time world champion. Portugal finished first in their group, winning all 3 of their matches. In the quarterfinals, Eusebio, who scored 4 times that day, helped his troops escape the trap of North Korea, the surprise package of the tournament, who were leading 3-0 after 25 minutes. They were eventually eliminated by the eventual winners, Bobby Charlton's England. Portugal finished 3rd in the competition thanks to their victory over the USSR in the small final. It was a performance that remains the best in the history of the Seleção in the World Cup. On a personal level, the 1966 edition was the only one Eusebio played in during his career. The top scorer at the World Cup with 9 goals, the center forward who was then described as the best in Europe, became the true standard-bearer for a country living under a 30-year-old dictatorship. In newspapers and magazines, but also in Portuguese radio and television news programs, Eusebio is everywhere. He is now more than a simple player. Acclaimed everywhere he went, a man with an exceptional personality. Never before had a man of color in metropolitan Portugal enjoyed such an aura and received such praise. He helped to develop professionalism and popularize football in Portugal, and became one of the great figures of the sport in a highly discriminatory world. As for his footballing legacy, it simply makes him one of the best strikers of all time. Better still, one of the best players in the history of football. The first player of color to win the Golden Ball in 1965. The 1968 and 1973 Golden Shoe winner scored 473 goals in 440 official matches. He became an ambassador for Benfica and the Portuguese Football Federation at the end of his career. The man who has a statue in front of the Estádio Luz at Benfica, Lisbon, will render the Portuguese people inconsolable on January 5, 2014, after a cardiorespiratory arrest at the age of 71. 3 days of national mourning in tribute to the man who has his name engraved in golden letters in the Book of World Football will be decreed. Obrigado, Eusebio. If the big name in Portuguese football today is Cristiano Ronaldo, is Eusebio still the best Portuguese player in football history? Tell us what you think in the comments. And if you liked our video, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like it, to share it. See you soon for a new video. Ciao!